Buonasera, buonasera pueblo, bienvenidos a otro episodio de Martes por la Noche. Hoy les vamos a tener un episodio muy especial, ya que va a ser un episodio totalmente en inglés y vamos a estar hablando con representantes de clubes oficiales de fans de la Juventus y todo el trabajo que han hecho, y además obviamente hablaremos de el Juventus Inter. Cominchamos.
Pueblo, Juve.
Okay. Welcome everyone. Matteo, Giulio, Andrea, how are you guys? Welcome again.
Mad.
Mad.
Okay.
Pissed.
Mad. Let's start.
Pissed. Mad.
I'm good. I already had the time to think about that. And,
You changed, Andrea.
Yeah,
You
I'm
changed.
trying to.
You mature.
Did you read my nickname? I would have said the same if we won 3-0. You know, if we won 3-0, I would have said stay calm.
I don't care. I don't care about the score, but about the result. I think it was a tie game. It was fair. Actually,
it was fair.
It was more of what happened after the game that really pissed me off. I'm sorry if I'm talking in French here.
What happened? Nothing ever happens after our games. What are you talking about?
Well, you play with like the team like with horrible colors and horrible people and
Horrible people.
But no, look, I'm joking, okay, but I'm not completely joking, okay, because you. I'm sorry, Joshua. I'm already derailing,
go ahead.
okay. And
that is the wrong night to invite Matteo. George.
Yeah,
no, this is a perfect night.
Do you know any of them that you are able to talk about soccer? That you're able to talk like, okay, yes, you're right. No, you're wrong. I'm wrong. You're right. Do you know any of them that you can have a conversation about soccer?
I gotta be honest. Yes,
I know one person. One person.
One person. Yeah, I
have a hard time myself, though. Maybe one.
You're lucky. I cut all the ties, honestly, with Italy. So yeah, I'm leaving. Then Twitter bring you back to the real life, and maybe I should. Well, and we have many idiots too. Okay, we're not like saints either. Actually, sometimes I think we are too many. Actually, and
I'll help you on this. I spent 20 minutes today after the game, 30 minutes arguing with a friend of mine. Roots for Inter, who the only thing he was talking about was the second yellow to Lukaku. That was it.
Hi.
Hey there.
Yeah, straight from the Continassa. Wow, lucky you.
So wait, your friend was talking. The only thing he was talking about was that Lukaku should not have received the second yellow.
Second yellow. I was like, what are you talking about? Why are we talking about this at all right now?
That Lukaku agent just came out with a public statement about what happened.
A big statement
that Juventus should apologize for everything that happened to Lukaku.
But you know what I told them? I told them when Ken call it I still don't know what to call this guy. Did the same thing. I think it was against Cagliari. I don't remember. Again, there was the team, teammates, the management. They were all explaining him how wrong that was for several reasons. I mean, we understand the frustrations of these guys that they get booed the whole game.
Yeah.
But they're professionals, they should know better. And like it or not, there is a rule. It's like the stupid rule when they took off the jersey, they got
right.
a yellow card. It's the same thing. You can't provoke people, otherwise you get a yellow card.
Correct.
Rule. Why are we even talking about it? But that's all we're talking about.
But okay, to be fair,
let me do one thing real quick, okay? Because I think it's important to do this, and at least I would like to. What the what the Curva was yelling at Lukaku is wrong.
Period. Yeah, no, I was going
I don't
there.
think there's any of us doubt that.
I was going there. Yeah.
In fact, I hope, and there was some news saying that obviously the Fiji was going to do an investigation. Hopefully they do an investigation. Hopefully they find the people that did that, and hopefully they get kicked out of the state.
They were so smart that they recorded themselves, Joshua.
Exactly. So that should be fairly
I just
easy.
see the video. I didn't have the time to send to you, Julian. Sorry.
It's there everywhere.
I think there was I think there was a lot of misinformation about what really happened. I mean, according to what I saw, then what I saw at the repetition and the replays, it's not precisely what Lukaku did with the celebration. It was what he said after celebrating the goal. He said it to Cuadrado, and Cuadrado answered back, and that's why the ref gave the yellow to Lukaku to begin with. But Cuadrado got heated off, and then answered back.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. The rule says, like Julio said, that if you do a celebration against the opposing team's fans that may jeopardize the safety or may incite violence, then you get booked.
You can't provoke.
You get a yellow card. Yeah,
you can't provoke.
That's a rule in the okay. So
it's kind of what Leao did last Sunday against Napoli. But of course, it's Napoli-Milan, it's Leao, it's not Juventus involved. Okay,
exactly.
So it's not a big news.
Now,
but excuse me, Joshua, because I definitely agree with you, and I'm sorry if I go over you and I know it's going to happen many times tonight. But I see that these people were smart enough to record themselves. Okay, and since we're talking about the Allianz Stadium, actually a stadium that is not like a part pertaining to the third world country, okay, or like a third world infrastructure that the too bad we have in Italy, okay. I hope they're gonna find these idiots. They're gonna be banned, okay. And even because honestly, there were not that many. If you see the video, okay, you are talking about 10 people. There is 10 too much, okay. I agree. There shouldn't be one, okay. Shouldn't be one. But find them, kick them out.
Agree.
Problem solved.
If I can add something, I mean, it's pretty. I don't know. I'm pretty sure some of you, if not all of you guys, watched the report episode that came out 1 year-ish ago, and there was a phone call between the Curva, one of the Curva Sud chief. Basically threatening that they would have used wrong chants and wrong signs in order to have the team like Juventus getting a penalty or a fine or something, because there was the issue between Juventus and the ultras for the tickets and all this stuff. But we go back to the same story every time. As Matteo was saying, even though we are probably one of the, if not the only one of the few stadium in Italy, because I'm considering Sassuolo and Udine probably, one of the few stadium in Italy that actually can and always take major in order to avoid this kind of individual to go back to the stadium, because that's what we've been working on for the last few years. We want it make it become a place for families, no? And that there is also an argument between supporters and ultras saying that the problem if the stadium is silent is because there's not enough ultras, but that's not true, because then when they are in the curva, they decide to either jeopardize, like today, the 10 or 20, I don't know how many of them, but the individual that were singing those chants, they were not just reacting to Lukaku, they knew what they were doing. And unfortunately, when Agnelli was saying we have been attacked, and we have been attacked by every side you can imagine, that's one of them. That's one of them. Because if something happens in Torino for Juventus, they all go to check. FIGC open the inchiesta and everything you want. To all the other teams, nothing happened. So the only thing we can say, as you said, Joshua, we condemn this kind of attitude, and we invite everybody listening right now to think who we are. Like Agnelli said, siamo la gente della Juve. We are Juventus folks, and we're different. We don't play games to these levels. Those are lower level than we used to.
And honestly, I don't expect anybody to come to our house and say that, because if you just need to go back to last year, what happened last year with when there was Juve Milan, and you had one fan in the warm up chanting against Magnan. Okay, there was a video that went viral. Okay, they found him. Okay, they identified him, and I think he was banned. So it's anything they can say about that, about Juventus, and we can talk probably for 3 or 4 weeks. It's actually they care about this situation. Okay, so it's so that's why I don't wanna see that kind of fire coming to us. Okay, because obviously Lukaku was nervous. Okay, I'm not a Lukaku hater. Okay, he obviously was nervous. He just 5 minutes before he did a foul on Gatti that we can even talk that may be like a straight red card. Okay, he was nervous. He scored. Okay, because at the end of the day, he's not a bad player. Okay, in my opinion. Okay, he was nervous and he took on that because Juventus was whistling them. That's it, and. That's what happened. That's called soccer. Okay, don't make him bigger than anyone it is. And then
I'm more meant to Quadrado that should have gone into the locker room instead of staying there getting the red card.
Yes,
well,
but I mean,
give me 1 second, because we have people in the chat here that have been saying hi, and we haven't been able to bring him in. So I just wanted to highlight them. Christian Sosa was the first one to arrive, so he wins the prize of being the first one. He says, "Hello, my friends. Ciao, Pueblo. Forza Juve sempre." It's a shame that we couldn't bring the win today, but here we are supporting. Danilo Martinez was always here, so he's also saying hi. Jose Daniel Navarro as well. We had the victory, but we have to. Inter doesn't have anything on us. We are way more than this. He's saying hi to everybody. Eric is asking, why did he take Fagioli out? We can talk about that too. We have to remember also the whole schedule that we have coming up.
Agree.
So no problem at all. We got Gattaresti Woman. Ciao ragazzi, Stefania here.
Bella Stefania.
Wow. The president of the Salt Lake City Juventus Club.
But she should be here, Stefania.
If
you have the link, send it to Stefania. Bring on if you're available. We would love to have you up here.
She is you texting her, Andrea?
Yeah.
She's dangerous when she's speaking
Good.
French.
We want her here. Welcome, Stefania. Rafael Sucre, hello, brothers in colors. Danilo, guys, I propose that we have a Spanglish live. I don't think
we can intentarlo, but I don't think if it's posible.
let me finish the beer. I can speak many languages you want.
There you go. Rafael Sucre, you guys here in Sagi? Is this guy for real? Does he live in alternative reality?
Yeah, why you listen to him?
Yeah, no, that's gonna be the typical thing.
Thank you.
The only thing I can tell is that I am very angry with Bremer. We'll talk about this as well.
Yes.
We'll touch this point.
It was an honest mistake. I mean, it was stupid, but it was an honest mistake.
At that level, it's not a set for what he did.
I know.
Andy Spinoza, hello guys. I think Lukaku was misinterpreted. Also, I haven't seen a player cautioned before for celebrating a goal to the opposing curva. They only get a verbal caution. It's not a new gesture. One thing is to celebrate, and the other is to antagonize. Andy, that's the difference in the. No, even that is normal. That's his normal celebration. But then he started yelling at the curva, and I mean the images are there. Again, that's the interpretation that I saw on the field. But Cano said that there was some discussion with Cuadrado, and that's why the second yellow. So we'll see. But again, that's beyond the point. The point here is then I think we've established that what happened to Lukaku, what the curva or those people in the curva, we must clarify that what they did was wrong. What is incredible again, and we'll circle back to this, I'm sure, towards during our live here, is that they're talking about doing an investigation on Juventus and their fans, but there was no investigation started for when Kostic was subbed out last game versus Inter, and he received all manner of insults, calling him a gypsy and many other things. In fact, Inter didn't even receive a disciplinary sanction from the sports judgment. Nobody did any
But
investigation.
it is a sport judgment in Italy. Come on.
I know. Nobody did any investigation on the insults that Keane received the entire game against Roma, which led him to do the stupidity that he did. And obviously that is very wrong what Keane did. But regardless, there was also there's been case after case. Matteo, you already highlighted some of them in previous times. So we have to understand the context that we live in. Okay, we understand that because this happened to Lukaku in the Juventus stadium, it's going to be blown out of proportion, and it's going to be a terrible thing. I wouldn't be surprised, and I say this now, if they take away the yellow for Lukaku, okay, and he'll be available in the next game.
I'm more scared that they're gonna ban Juventus Stadium for one game. I don't think they can take away the yellow, honestly.
They can do whatever they want. They've shown that this year.
If you allow me the joke, I don't know if Lukaku playing the next game is a bad thing for us.
Right? Exactly. Yeah, especially in Milano, he feels a lot more the pressure. And having said that. We'll see what happens. The point is that it's a little bit of the same, when it comes to the way that Juventus is treated or perceived. Also, the bad news for us is that Handanovic got a red card as well. So I'd much rather have Handanovic in goal than Onana.
Did a good save today, though.
What's that, Julio?
He did a good save today.
Wow,
he did. Yeah,
on Di Maria.
The first one, yeah.
Yep.
But then he was back to his usual self, and he almost cost him a few times. So I was hoping. Going back to Cuadrado, though, for sure, it was disappointing. First off, I understand, afterwards with the red, by that time he already knew he had a yellow card. He already knew he was missing the next game. So all bets were off for him. Obviously, the reaction on Handanovic was not correct. I don't know what was said. Only them two know. But I also don't want to make him, this terrible human being because he threw a punch.
I think he was asking Handanovic as captain on Inter to intercede with Lukaku to go apologize again to the Juve fan.
That's my point. You're stupid. I'm sorry. I love Panita.
Even because you're talking about we're talking with a guy with wearing the other color. So how can you reason with that?
We are talking about one of the most experienced guy we have in the locker room, and I'm thinking to Del Piero versus Roma when Coe punched him in the face and he just gave me Kufre, and he gave him a thumbs up back. I just putting our most experienced, one of the most experienced guy we have in the team, instead of going back to the locker room, thinks that he can actually convince Lukaku to go apologize to the fan. But guys, it's like it was the first game he was playing. Like,
well, it's Quadrado.
So genuine.
It's Quadrado. So
anyway, I mean, we'll see. I'm sure there'll be some sanctions on him for that punch as well.
Okay, I have a question for you. Do you think that was a punch?
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't a punch. It looks like one.
Because if that's a punch,
I mean, it was
that's a really weak one. Honestly,
yeah.
I know, but like, suspended to get it for a good one. Because I was actually
they're gonna suspend them under Article 4, Matteo.
No, but Julio knows that Quadrado is not my favorite player. Okay, so don't want to defend. It looks like he was held and he was trying to do something to get away from.
I mean, it looks more like than anything else. I mean,
okay.
Tried to do something. He should have not been in that position. He should have not. We shouldn't be here talking for 20 minutes about him. That says that he did something wrong. Lukaku, and all that spectacle at the end, that it wasn't unnecessary.
Yeah, no. It was very sad. It was kind of pathetic, to be honest. But also, it's what I was thinking about this afterwards. Once I cooled off, it's what's been cooking, right? Everything in the media, everybody talks about these two big rivalries. It's always about once against the other, Inter or Napoli or whoever represents Italy, and then we represent the worst things that have happened in the history of humanity. So eh, when you charge the system, when you charge the environment so much, it obviously comes out in the players, and it makes for spectacle, and it makes for titles in newspapers tomorrow, and they'll be talking about these things for many years to come. I would like to precise one last thing, and with this, I'll close on the episodes or the controversial episodes. The whole thing of Dumfries pushing Kostic in the back, and that being, because of that, it shouldn't be a penalty. I don't think we should go there, because I complain, about the Interista being obsessed with this push of Pjanic or whatever. It's a normal play. In any other circumstance, it wouldn't be called a foul anyways.
Plus,
It can be called. The problem
Gatti is pushing a lot, guys. Sooner or later, is gonna.
The thing is, like, it can be called even a foul or not. It doesn't matter. This is what my conversation with that Inter guy was telling you about today, 20 minutes. Was like, listen, it could be a foul, it couldn't be. I'm not here arguing with you. It was a foul. I'm telling you, the referee didn't call it. Right after there was a PK, right that he gave the PK, 1-1 is the right, score at the end. That's it. If it was the other way around, we'll be talking about this push in 20 years from now with you guys. That's what I was telling him.
Of course.
You think that is fair? I don't. Honestly, I was thinking, okay, I'm superior to that. Okay, I don't care. Maybe I'm getting older. Okay, I'm fucking tired. I'm sorry. I'm fucking tired. And because I have Inter fans say that, oh yeah, but you see what Quadrado did. Yeah, you need to stick to fact. What you stick to fact? The last 8 goals you had on us, it was 5 penalty, okay, and 3 of that were like invented. It was probably in the fairy tales book, okay. So what are you talking about? We're talking about look. 2 weeks ago we played against Inter, right? You don't have to go. You don't have to go far, okay. We score, okay. To this day, are you completely sure that Rabiot touched the ball with that? I'm honest. I don't know. I cannot be sure. I'm honest. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know if he touched or not. So since we are not sure, and I don't think it's like I'm not the smartest guy over there, okay, but not the dumbest. If you're not sure, okay, you cannot over challenge. So they stay. If you tell me that you're sure, maybe we are a better vision than me. I need to change this, but okay. So last year there was a penalty because Dzeko stepped on De Sciglio, and they won the Super Cup. There was a penalty because Lautaro kicked Bonucci, and they win the Coppa Italia. But we don't have to talk about that. With the win 1-0 in Torino, just talking about the last 7 months or the last year, okay, or Inter Juve, okay, and already naming like 5 or 6 episodes that was clearly against us. So what you were talking? I'm tired. Honestly, I'm tired, and I'm pissed.
Yeah, no, Matteo, I understand the being tired and frustrated, but here's how I summarize it, and this is why I love being part of this club. And well, not I would love to be part of this club, but I love being a fan of this club, is because we have 38 other reasons to talk and 38 other things to talk about. Or we have 2 other things to talk about, or we have 10 other things to talk about. I don't know if you're catching my meaning with the numbers, right?
Sorry, I have to step right back out. I'll be right back.
So much history, so much amazingness to talk about, that I don't need to be wasting my future in the next I don't know how many years talking about one episode, which I think might have changed my whether I won the league or not. Like, 2 weeks ago, there was a special on the national TV about Il Gol di Turone. I mean, this thing
it was
30 years ago, and they're still talking about it.
It was 40 years ago.
40 years
and
ago.
I don't know if you guys were able to watch it. Honestly, I want to watch it, because actually there's people talking good about it, because it wasn't straight about that episode. It was mostly about what was going on through the period, okay? Yeah, but to this day, there's still people thinking that there was a goal when it was proved that it was offside, and actually the RAI Domenica Sportiva, actually they altered the images to show that it was onside. Okay, so to this day, there's people thinking that it was goal. Like to this day, there's people thinking that the Moggi closed Paparesta in a room in Reggio Calabria. So I'm tired of shut up, because being silent. You know what he brought? He brought back that is normal to someone else that calling you a thief. I'm not.
It's about doing 9 years of Scudetti. It's not about being tired, or silent. It's about being vociferous with the facts on the field. Or at least that's how I see it. I don't know.
We killed it.
You know what? The fact that Matteo, is frustrated this much, the fact that we're talking about this for 30 minutes says one thing. And I think that's where the Juventus as a club has failed. Like, it hasn't really voiced ever the frustration of the people out there. They have let the major news outlet just run wild, say anything they wanted. They never defended themselves because they thought they were above that. Okay, but that has created this vacuum, of information, the misinformation, and now people start getting frustrated, and now people like us feels the need of talking about it, wants to hear, the other side of the story. So I think that's something that needs to be tuned up a little bit from, management, and maybe things will change a little. Won't change that much because the damage has been done is so big, it's been for so long. You can't change certain things, but you can change the approach moving forward. I think it would help a little. In fact, this what's going on right now with all this mess, with the Giustizia Sportiva, people start canceling their subscriptions, right? That tells you a lot, right? Back then in 2006, social medias were not that big. So people had just to watch what was on TV, what was told in the newspapers, and there was no other source of information. Now that people have other resources are acting and reacting, and we're seeing the effect of it. We're seeing it. So that explains that what Juventus has done so far is maybe it wasn't the right move. Maybe they need just to adjust a little bit the aim.
No, I think that's a great point, and I totally agree with you. But notice the difference, right? So, and this is a great segue to the topic that I wanted to cover with you guys was the work that the Juventus official fan clubs have been doing, and how you guys united specifically in North America, South America, and then all of the clubs around the world in order to show support for the club. But notice, we don't. The Juventus fan or the organized or unorganized Juventus fan doesn't go out there and start crying. That's the best way that I can describe it. But they actually did a smart move, right? They went and disconnected their cable. I don't know if you understand the difference, right? So if you understand the difference that I'm trying to communicate, it's not a Simone Inzaghi, right? It's a Max Allegri move. You see what I mean? It's using the intelligence, using exactly where it's gonna hurt. Okay, I cancel my DAZN, I cancel my Skype, my Sky. Sorry, I cancel my Paramount Plus, whatever it is, and to show and to really make a difference. I don't go and start creating noise and get in front of cameras and saying that the referees are terrible, that Lukaku didn't do something wrong, whatever. We go at it in a more planned and more structured way, and that's the part that I think we need to accentuate, that we need to praise. So while Matteo's frustration is absolutely right, and it's one that we all feel, of course, I'm tired of this stupidity. But I say let's use that example, right? Can Juventus as a society do better in terms of showing and putting more support towards the fans and against all this negativity? Yes. But let's use our example, the ones that we've created ourselves or that we've been led to create through the society, to do it the smart way. I don't know if I'm making myself understood, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
You are.
clear.
Yeah, totally. But I also, I'm glad I can say that I was surprised realizing that Juventus was not the how can I say, indifferent to the things were going on, but was just quiet and handling the situation the way they should. I agree with Giulio though, because I'm a son of Calciopoli, and I believe that the main difference to the story was actually the power of social media in terms of being able to spread a word all around as fast as possible. Because when in 2007, 2008, 2009 maybe, the actual trial for Calciopoli started, I was one of the crazy, listening to Radio Radicale recording to the every single trial audience, even 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, didn't matter. I listened all of it. But then when it was time for a conversation, I could have read everything about it, listened to everything you can imagine. But my conversation was either with a Juventino that was thinking, this guy is crazy, is going completely crazy, and he's giving me too much information that I actually don't wanna process right now. Or you were talking to an Interista or a Romanista, depending where you were located at the time, and you were looking even more crazy. That's why if now Giraudo wins in London after 20 years, we're gonna get we're taking our revenge, because
that could be huge. That could be huge.
I mean the game is over at the point, because I won't understand how they're gonna pay us back for all the damages we've been suffering since 2006. I think that Italian football system is already in a bad shape, no? I think something like that would like kill it. But when I say we will take our revenge, what I mean is all the people that we've been talking to in the years that were looking at us like crazy now need to shut up and take the truth, that they didn't want to accept at the time.
No, the truth is that it gets very exposed that corruption is at its highest peak, and it's very, not highest peak, but maybe it's very evident now, because thanks to social media, right? Marco was here in Mexico a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about this, and I was talking to him about, Marco. He is one of the members of Pueblo Juve. He is from Turin and from Torino, and we were talking about that, like the Justicia Sportiva, and because it's Europe, sometimes you think it's very first world, right? The European Union, and very, very first world. It's like top of the game, right? Top of the league. And he's like, dude, no, it's Italy. It's the third world. It's the same shit as Mexico. It's the same shit as Venezuela. It's the same.
Especially sport shit. Justice.
Yes.
Well, but we have I'm sure Josh read it, and I can probably talk about that better than me. But you've been seeing because diritto sport law in Italy, it's like really a small branch, and actually is a branch. It's something that when I was working in Italy, actually we're working as a lawyer, was something that was coming up. I actually was putting interest there. It's really small, and there is really just an elite working on that. But we have in the last couple of months, we became a little bit of expert with this, and we keep hearing lawyer. Even for today, I was on Radio Bianconera. I was a lawyer from is an Inter fan because he was talking shit about us about the game, and that was fun actually, and I love that part. Okay, was talking shit about each other. If they confirm, on the April 19, the Collegio di Garanzia dello Sport, I have no idea how to make the translation. Okay, So
the highest court of
it would be an embarrassment for from every lawyer, because that means that from every people that love the law and study the law, it cannot be possible. So we have people for every side, okay, professional people, like not like someone that is nobody like me, okay. Then I say that this cannot be happen, because at the end of the day, you need to apply the law that is written in the court.
Yeah.
Matteo, it really doesn't matter what's going to happen in April. It doesn't matter because they already did the damage.
Yeah.
No, of course they did the damage. The damage is done.
Maybe we get the points back. The season is damaged.
Of course.
Anyway.
No.
Now they gave an excuse to UEFA to like investigate us too. So there is that at that level. So that's not going to be taken away anyway. So whatever they needed to do, they already did it. Now they give us the 15 points. They keep it away. It really doesn't make a big difference at this point. I mean, it does if they give it back, obviously, but they've done so much damage. And then I hope if they give it back, then they will move on with like, suing and seeking for damages and all that kind of thing. So they will stop pulling this crap on people. But
no, the thing is, I don't think that it's going to be over, even if we get the 15 points back. I mean, this is something that is going to keep on going on, and then they're going to find another different way to fuck us up. It's just something that is implanted into like the Italian sport justice system. It's like, as long as the South, because apparently it is what it is, like the southern part of Italy is taking care of the Justicia Sportiva, then we're screwed, man. And I don't know. I don't really can't find the end of it, because I mean, after we're done with the 15 points, then we have to deal with the salaries with the Prisma, and then after that is done, then we have to deal with the UEFA, and then after that is done, then we have to deal with FIFA. It's just bullshit.
But the tide might be changing for the future, because for what we said before, this is the first time since they've been pulling this crap every year with something, the Suarez passport, all these things, that people actually like were able to react, and they saw how much damage we could do as a movement to the Italian football system. This is the first time that it happened. So maybe that's teaching them something. But
let's hope so.
Maybe
then Josh was saying something about like if Juventus is doing enough, knowing that the tifosi are actually working hard on achieving something. And there's a saying in Spanish that goes, perro que ladra no muerde. It means barking dog.
Yeah, it's like in Italian.
So that's exactly my position on what I think Juventus should be doing. Like, they want to stay quiet and just work. And that is maybe what I don't know. You guys are parts of official fan clubs, and you have a lot more communication with the club. But I don't know, man. I just say, let's let the lawyers work. Let the lawyers do their stuff. Let the
This is not the time to talk. This is the time for the lawyers to do their job. Okay.
Exactly.
And, every day they see Cefrin talking over there, Gravina talking over there, or Lotito or De Laurentiis talking over there. It may show that they're kind of like in
attention. Stefania has joined.
Stefania is here.
Hello.
Stefania. Hey,
ciao.
How are you?
We want to hear some French, okay?
Oh, no, please.
Stefania is the president of the Juventus Fan Club Salt Lake City, okay?
Oh, nice.
Hello.
How are you, Stefania? Welcome.
Thank you.
So tell us briefly, since we were talking already about the whole situation, the legal situation, but what were your initial thoughts of Juve Inter and the all the craziness afterwards? But then we'll move on to the legal matters.
Oh, well, if we managed to arrive to that point, then we deserve to tie the game. Sorry, you should have put it away a long time ago. In my opinion. What happened after the game? Well, if you do racist boos and everything, you deserve to go. But there were those effing idiots, 5 of them, I guess. And Juventus came out and said that they were gonna be banned. So that's a good thing. Other than that, to me, Lukaku just reflects those damn black and blue colors. So
Amen, sister. Amen.
Merda.
merda o mierda.
I like to know what you think about Barella, though, Stefania.
Oh,
Merda. Merdissima.
can I say can I say it in Sardinian so you would understand?
You can say anything you want
But-
in however language or dialect you want. No problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this to our Spanish fans. Hijo de su gran puta.
I guess even the Italians and the Chinese understood. No problem.
Me, the Russian too.
Pero tiene como hijo de la puta que lo parió.
De la puta que lo parió.
We're getting worse here.
You guys said Stefano was very good.
No, well,
very
but
nice.
honestly, guys, Barella is unbearable. Honestly, it's unbearable.
No, it's getting to Materazzi level in terms of hate.
Yeah, and I thought it was impossible to achieve, and he actually is doing it. He was calling for VAR every 3 seconds, was grabbing the referee. Brozovic basically, I think, almost raped the referee.
Inzaghi's game was like this.
Like that. Okay.
Guys, they're unbearable. But they don't realize that. They don't have some kind of dignity, because sometimes when I watch a game, I go crazy, and then I look at my son and say, okay, it's better that I calm down over here, because look, I want to keep some kind of dignity in front of my son, okay? And some like they probably, yes, it's probably too late already, okay? But at least I'm asking myself the question, because there is like what 30 camera on the pitch, they see everything. Looking back today, okay. And then please, let's move on. Okay, we can talk about. Thank you, Eliska. Thank you,
guys. Maybe we can use Eliska's message to hear how the clubs in North America got together. How did the initiative start, or who contacted who, or because at the end, all of the North American clubs kind of send out this announcement or this publication in support of the club of Juventus. Then we saw the same thing with the Latin American clubs.
Even the Mexican club joined.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the North American, meaning Mexico, Canada, the US. Then the South American clubs joined, and then there was a kind of a global thing.
North America, Joshua, we are united. We've been united for a couple of years, I believe, already. It has been official for 1 year, more or less. But when this happened, we were already, acting as one. Mainly in Italy, the clubs, one representative of each region, planned what to do, how to do it, and
I'm proud to say they started in Sicily.
not surprise. So basically,
from
for us,
Juve,
it was we were already a team, and we just coordinating with Italy, like the rest of the world, I believe, is doing.
And adding something to what Andrea just said, like he said recently, there is like an actual entity, Official Fan Club North America, with like a coordinator for the all North America. Right now it's John Rowe, who is also the president of the Toronto Fan Club. So that helps and a lot. It helped a lot to facilitate all of this, and put everybody under the same flag, so to speak.
Fantastic. That is amazing.
That was incredible when we saw that come out. From all the different clubs and all across the world, it was really fantastic. And going back to what we were talking about, it kind of takes the ownership and the initiative from the fans, right? It's the fans going and protecting the club, and such pride, right? Because you actually feel like you're doing something and helping these guys out. They're going out to the field every day and battling these situations. The club per se is going out in the legal instances and fighting for the club, and for us to be able to do something
because the players
was
definitely notice.
yes,
Definitely.
yes.
But that's why what Giulio was saying earlier. If we had this kind of tools in 2006, I'm not sure Calciopoli would happen. I'm not sure if it happened, we would have been telling the same story. Juventino Vero, which you find in Twitter and YouTube, U29 Row, did a great job and actually was part of the team with the lawyer Luciano Moggi's lawyer when they actually went to purchase
the kind of people. They actually they were part of the team. Andrea is totally right. They went through all the phone tapping that they came out. Okay, they went through them and they listened to all of them, probably 1,000 of them. Okay, and if it wasn't for them, basically we didn't know part of two, because when something that when you talk about Calciopoli that you should think about is that the phone tapping that you heard, okay, is because like Telecom at the time he was intercepting Moggi, some referee, okay, some other people, okay, so you can hear some phone tapping between like Galliani and the referee, or Moratti and the referee, but maybe you cannot hear what Moratti and Galliani and Moratti, or like people from Lazio, people from Roma, or they were sent by themselves. So basically, think about what could have been talking, and if you actually listen to them in that context, okay, and if Moggi really was like a small fish.
Well, the point is they didn't find an actual, illecito that they could condemn it. So they justified everything. They justified everything with a
sentimento popolare,
and also not only a sentimento popolare, Matt, but it was everything based on the exclusivity of the relationship between Moggi and the referee, and then it comes out that Inter was actually having a privilege.
I think it was Narducci that denied that there was like conversation going on between Facchetti and Moratti and Bergamo and Pairetto. There was like the referee, the chief of the referee back then. It's unbelievable. And going back to what Andrea was trying to say, okay, if you talk with people in Italy about Calciopoli, the problem is nobody knows shit. Okay, if you ask them, if you can just make them an easy question, okay. Excuse me, okay, Juventus got relegated in Serie B with like a 9-17 penalization. I don't even remember right now. Okay, can you tell me why and for which games were actually fixed?
No, there is evidence of nothing.
There is one more thing. Remember that in 2006, who was the main person behind Team Telefon Italia? Who was that?
Behind Mediaset,
exactly.
Behind the right, there was Berlusconi at the governor at the time.
Berlusconi, Tronchetti Provera, and all the other people. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So for those that didn't live through Calciopoli, if this sounds familiar, it's because you're living very similar things, if not almost mirror things, right now with Prisma. And that goes back to that point. It's what is the difference? What is the actual difference between 2006 and now? Is really the communication, no? The ability of all this information being able to be out there, the organization of the Juventus fans, even actually I would go as far as to say, and I think you all would agree, the actual club is behaving very differently than in 2006. I mean, they are going after it. They're going into the tribunals. They're appealing the decisions. They've done a reformatting of the entire directives board to fill it with professionals that are lawyers and accountants, and to fight this. And I think that's important to highlight. So while it's true what Giulio and Matteo were saying, that as an institution, Juventus could do more on the media side of things to fight back. I think in the legal side of things, we've definitely taken a step in the right direction, and hopefully we can equate that further. I have a question here from Danilo that I thought was interesting. I've been saving it, but I wanted to ask it to all of you. Danilo says it begins to sound a lot about the exclusion of Juve in Europe. I'm guessing he's meaning UEFA Europe.
I don't think it can happen until the ordinary trial are over. So I don't think that UEFA can ban Juventus just on the matter of what the sport justice said. I'm not totally sure about what I'm saying. So from that side, I think we're pretty safe right now. I'm knocking on wood. Okay, you don't see my hands. Okay, but clearly, what they're trying to do is clearly a move, because Ceferin is actually, Gravina is actually the arm hand of Ceferin right now, and he's using all he can do, because asking for the exchange of what is happening right now, the assignation to Italy of Euro 2032.
I think about Europe, there is one thing that we could say they could play in our favor, and that's the Barcelona situation, actually. It depends also what's going to happen there. It looks like it's going in the direction where nothing is happening with Barcelona. So if nothing happens with Barcelona, we're talking about corruption of referees and whatnot. If it's that true, I don't know how they could, pin things on us, that are still pending here. So there is also that could play in our favor. So going along with what Matteo says, the Europe side of it, right now, it's not a big concern, but I don't know, we'll see.
No, and I mean, I would remind everyone that there's still the whole. I mean, I think it's fairly clear that, especially based on the latest interview by Ceferin, that this is a persecution by Ceferin to these three clubs, right? So,
of course,
absolutely.
And he's he's like Matteo said, he's utilizing the local entities in order to persecute these clubs. For now, I mean, he's pretty much told Real Madrid, "I'm gonna find something to."
Yeah, you're right. You see that it was scary, actually.
I don't know why they don't sue him for defamation already, because he's saying, "How? Who knows what they did?"
It sounds like Don Vito Corleone.
Exactly. So I mean that's clear, but we'll see, right? Because the European tribunal, the European Union's court has to still come to a decision on the whole Super League thing, and I think that'll be a very interesting inflection point to see what happens going forward. And to remind everyone that no club has officially left the Super League, which is the funny thing is, they're persecuting Juventus, Barcelona. Yeah, I was getting to that, Matteo. Juventus, Barcelona, and Real Madrid, because they're the ones that continuously, support it outright. But all of the other clubs that signed the original agreement are still there, except one who has officially exited, and I think we know who it is. But we just tied against them. So that gives you kind of an idea.
But okay.
Just a little clue.
We keep going circles, so let's move on. Okay.
Go, Matteo. Let it go.
The problem is, we're fighting against Inter right now, but we know that the real enemy is not Inter, because Inter right now, basically, they're broke, and Zhang, I don't think he is. I don't know how much debts they have right now. So we're not fighting against them. We are not going to fight against Milan, that they're still here with the issue with the own management, with their own property. We are the real enemy are Lotito and the Laurentiis, that are the real enemy right now. And Lotito is even part of the Italian parliament right now. He's a congressman or a senator? Congressman, I think. I'm not super sure about that. So we know. I don't know what's going to happen, but you already see. I'm Italian, guys. Stefano is Italian, Andrea is Italian, Julie is Italian. Okay, so in some way, somehow, more or less, we care about the situation in Italian soccer. Okay. I know Andrea not that much, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I don't give a damn right now. Okay, but we care about the level of Serie A, about everything. Okay, and I don't remember a Serie A or Italian soccer in a bad situation like it is right now. It's embarrassing. We have Gravina calling for Napoli being a model. When we see picture of people taking a piss outside of the stadium. Come on, it's 2023, guys.
So Lotito is actually a senator of the Okay. Can you imagine, senatore del cazzo?
So let's move on. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about the actual club. About we're gonna be Easter in just a few days. Okay.
Well, guys, perfect. And
Let's all be
Christian
nice.
asking how long have you been in the live? We're going on an hour, surprisingly, but we've covered many topics from the game all the way through the legal situation, how the Juventus Official Fan Clubs of North America united to send messages of support. But I want to change page now in the last few minutes and talk about this month, how critical April is for Juventus and its season. Independently of what happens on the 19th of April, which is going to be apparently today, the latest news is that there will be a hearing, that was scheduled already, but most likely, or at least one of the experts says that it's very likely that the judges will choose to extend the time before they provide a decision based on all of the documents that are available, etc. And that's just part of let's call it a feature of the Italian sports justice system, because if it was in the ordinary system, this lawyer argues that it'll been canceled already and would have been restituted the 15 points. But on the sports side of things, guys, how do you see us for April, based on the team, based on what you saw on the pitch today? What are your feelings? We have Lazio on the weekend, and then we have our first leg against Sporting. So maybe I'll start with Stefania. How do you feel about this month?
I think it's going to be a hard month for sure. Especially the Europa League. I hate the Portuguese teams every time. They get us in trouble. But I'm an eternal optimist. So I'm hoping que vamos a ganar todo.
I'm hoping the same.
We've heard from Andrea on the last live, but I'd like to hear from you guys. How are you feeling about this, especially after today's game? I was hoping more from us, especially playing at home.
No, come on, it was a classic Allegri games.
That's the problem.
The difference I noticed today was that we lost the midfield. So both of the games that we have beaten Inter in during this season, we dominated the midfield each time.
Yep.
But in this game, that did not happen. The supremacy of Rabiot did not work out. Locatelli also made several mistakes. So I don't know if the pressure. Kostic wasn't at his
Locatelli.
Locatelli was the usual Locatelli. Sorry, guys. Julie and I, we're not his best. We're not biggest fan. Locatelli is a good player.
He's a good player. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question, guys. I'm gonna ask you a question. All right. So, which player of the midfield that we have right now would play with Marchisio, Vidal, Pirlo, Pogba? Which one of these four will sit on the bench for one of the players that we have?
Fagioli.
No.
Nobody.
Not at this time.
I would say
maybe
Rabiot.
That tells you our midfield, what our midfield is right now. Okay.
You can't say anybody.
They're young. They're learning. So there's a game when they play well. There's a game that they don't play well. So answering to your question, how do you see this month? I mean, Allegri is a good strategist. So he always comes up with the solution in key games. So I'm confident that he will find, the key to this madness that is this month. I think there are two two games that are key. One is the next one on Saturday for Serie A. Is that one could really bring us close or could again bring us back. And then the first leg with the Sporting Lisbona at home, it's vital. Okay. So those two are the one that could say a lot. Obviously, then there's the one with Inter back there because we could make it to the final. But those are the games. Locatelli is a good player, but he's not a great player. Locatelli is a good gregario. I don't know what's the word in English. If he has an awesome, player next to him, he will be a good, shoulder. But we can rely on Locatelli. He can't make the difference. I mean, how long is it going to take Inzaghi before he understands how to stop Locatelli? 2 games. That's why today they didn't, did what they did last time. I mean, Inzaghi could be a clown, but you understand football. I mean,
I'm sorry, but I have to agree with Julie here on something that.
Sorry, he agrees with me.
No, but honestly, I agree. Look, Verona game, you need to win it. Okay, no matter what, you have to win it. Okay, and we did barely. Okay, but we did it. 3 points in there. Okay, today's game was not conclusive. Today's game, you just need to get over it. Okay, try to do less damage that you can. Okay, because you still have 90 minutes in Milano, and you're gonna play over there. Okay, and still the key game to me is like on Saturday. Is the game against Lazio, because even the first leg against Lisbona, they actually are going to be there at the stadium. It's a first leg. It's a Allegri.
You only get the home though of the two.
Yeah, okay, but with the new rules that we know the away goal they don't count more. It's okay. You know that Allegri looks already ahead. Okay, he knows that it's going to be like 180 minutes, if not 210 minutes game. Okay, so the key game is Saturday, because if you lose, you're out. Okay, unless you're going to give the 15 points back. Okay, and we go back to what we already said. Okay, if we win on Saturday, it can be interesting. And I'm not talking about winning the Scudetto. Okay, I'm winning because if we are able to get back in one of the fourth place, second, third, or fourth, okay, with the 15-point penalization and with everything that happened this year, fuck guys, I'm gonna celebrate it as Scudetto. I don't give a shit. And most of all because one between Inter, Roma, and Lazio are gonna stay out of Europe or the Champions League. So fuck that.
Amen, my brother.
So we'll see, because Lazio is playing really well lately. Sarri look like is less Sarri, more like Allegri lately. Okay, and Lazio is a good team, nothing special. Okay,
well, they're third place behind us right now. So
I was honestly hoping on Milan losing against Napoli.
They make 2 of us.
Yeah. I mean, I have to be a realist.
I translate that one. He's saying Locatelli is good to make tomato sauce.
But this is from Puglia, or this is from Sicily?
First and then translate it.
That's from Puglia, by the way.
That's from Puglia. Okay, because Lorenzo is from Puglia.
I think in Locatelli case a lot of difference is made by our expectations and the fact that we've been talking about Locatelli for 1 year before we actually signed him, like he was the savior. He was gonna be the savior of our midfield because we don't have anybody that can actually do what Locatelli does and blah blah blah.
That happened with everybody.
We were expecting a player that is not actually that player, and with Vlahovic probably is the same thing. Now he's also playing in a different position, and in my opinion, given the problems that we've been dealing with since the beginning of the season, in terms of finding our best shape. Our game system, call it as you like. I think Locatelli is one of the best in terms of attitude, in terms of sacrifice for the team, availability. We know that the last month have been very difficult very difficult months in his family life, and he was not actually doing a healthy life, because he was maybe sleeping not home in order to stay close next to his wife. And I mean, we need to have a little bit of empathy, and considering that the guy is a Juventus supporter, all the rest is secondary. I'm never gonna see him playing with Marchisio, Vidal, and Pirlo, because they're retired guys. I mean, that's gone.
No, come on.
I mean, if we keep doing this kind of, I know there was a great midfielder, and I like to be in that situation, but we look at the reality of the fact. That's the thing, the team we're playing with. My approach is always thinking I'm part of that team, and Locatelli is proving himself part of my team. So right now, that's what's matter. Tomorrow,
and regardless of the situation, we're second place on the field.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like we fucking suck.
We
May I say something?
Please.
That's all credit to Allegri for in second place, because he's the only coach that could navigate this mad situation right now. Any other coach on our bench will be fighting with Cremonese and Verona.
People should start to give him credit for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If we would have listened to the Allegri out, no offense to anybody, we'll be fighting with Verona and Cremonese right now.
Absolutely. What I was going to say was that about Locatelli and Dusan Vlahovic is that the Juventus jersey has a specific weight. It's heavier than the others. And sometimes these kids all come in thinking that they're going to do everything, and it's very hard for them to adjust. And Locatelli, to me, oftentimes it was played off position, not the way he played both on Sassuolo and on the national team. I don't particularly care for him, so but I'm trying to play the devil advocate, trying to find something positive to say. And he's a Juventino, so that's, as Andrea said, that's the most important thing to me.
Yep.
It goes out with his heart.
Very rare.
Yeah, and Dusan, I don't know what's wrong with him.
His head.
His head. Yeah, I'm having a hard time. Just
Can you highlight the last comment, plus, Josh?
No.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
He knows me. Look, I agree with everybody.
I'm very tempted. to respond.
Let me read the comment, and then we introduce the last topic before we close. So Christian Suarez says, our expectations for Vlahovic and Locatelli was so high because his former clubs, they were great players. But those clubs played out an offensive game. But Allegri doesn't do that, or doesn't. As we heard Christian, Matteo, I also want to, also include in your answer, when will Vlahovic finally, come to be his real self in Juventus?
We need to call as a coach in order to have Vlahovic being comfortable and happy to score some goals.
If Vlahovic doesn't learn how to move off the ball or without the ball, or move like a real striker, if he cannot do it, Allegri, I have really hard time for him. I don't know if he can really learn how to do it. I'm a Vlahovic fan. Locatelli is a different. I think he's an average player. Okay, I think he belongs to be a Juventus player, to be in the Juventus roster. He cannot be our star. Okay, Vlahovic can be our star, but he needs to realize that he's 23 years old. Okay, still have a lot to learn. Okay, and he needs to stop fighting a personal war every freaking time he got the ball. Okay, he needs to learn how. If even you look today how he move it, and that's some people were saying on the stadium. Okay, they were saying he was never giving the team the depth that they need. Something that Keane is really good about that. Something that Vlahovic needs to learn how to move without the ball, okay? Because if you look at even just the movement that the Keane had against Verona last Saturday, Vlahovic doesn't have that. Because even today, Vlahovic had like an average game, okay, that he was fighting against everybody. He had 2/3 chances to score.
Yeah.
And And also, I mean, one of the few things Matteo and I have in common is that, besides Juventus, is that we both played strikers, and we both share a passion for Juventus strikers in the history, no? So both of us, we are Vlahovic fan, and we are waiting for him. Our critic for Vlahovic is not. It doesn't want to be like destructive.
No.
It just complaint and frustration because we were actually expecting, and that's where I go back to expectation that make the difference. We were expecting a striker that was actually complete, because the problem when you only know how to play in a certain way, it means you're not a total striker. And today we cannot afford to have somebody playing that specified. Besides that,
And yes,
the reason why I'm tempted to answer to the comment is because, like I believe I said also the last time in the live, Oscar. It was Oscar the name.
Christian.
Christian, dear Christian. I don't believe in easy answers, and you just gave me one with your comment. That's why I cannot agree. If you simplify everything, just saying Allegri doesn't play attacking, and the other coaches do, then it's the end of the conversation, because you're just taking some stuff for granted when it's not.
Because I can make the argument that Di Maria is having one of the best years of his life.
Yeah.
So why? The problem is that the weight of the jersey when you play with Juventus is different than when you play with Sassuolo or Fiorentina.
That's what I was saying.
If Fiorentina, you have 2 or 3 games, you don't score, nothing's gonna happen. Nothing's gonna happen. Maybe they're gonna call you names in Florence and Ponte Vecchio for a couple of times, and nothing's gonna happen. If you don't score for one game in Juventus and you've been paid 80 million euro, okay, everybody is talking about that. But you see, we're having this conversation about Vlahovic, but the real problem is not Vlahovic. It's the real people is criticizing Vlahovic because they want to take an Allegri.
Exactly.
So I'm sorry, and I cannot shut up about that, because 80% of between 80%/90% of the critics to this team is because people want to attack Allegri, and it's unbearable, honestly.
I agree.
No, that's perfect. I was just gonna add, just to reinforce your point.
Right, and I'm sorry, but
no, that's perfect. To reinforce your point is, Vlahovic has played 90 minutes since coming back from his national team. So if we really think about it, he has only not scored in one game, and people are already
I don't see
to
an
speak
issue
bad and talk bad. He scored 2 or 3 times with his national team. 2 times.
3.
Then he scored
3 times.
3 times, and then he scored also before with Juventus. So in the last 4 games, he scored 4 times.
If you want to talk about
the match,
the forward today, Di Maria had an horrible game. Vlahovic had an horrible game.
Yeah.
Chiesa had an horrible game. Milik came in and he missed a goal at the pin. Like,
if Vlahovic would have missed what Milik missed, now we'll be putting him on a cross with nails.
Exactly.
Right. So like,
look, guys, I'm a biggest fan of Chiesa. Today he came in the pitch, it was flat, and it's okay. It happened. I agree. The issue is there. I agree. But Di Maria, the same. It's okay.
It's very interesting because they forget, or maybe they didn't live it. But those of us that lived Del Piero after his injury remember.
Oh my God!
It took him almost a full year to come back to a level decent.
It took 2 years enough.
Right. It was almost like a cadaver just walking there. And Chiesa it was a very similar injury plus some complications. It's gonna take time with Chiesa. So be patient. It's okay.
Of course. And look, and we're talking about the tie against Inter when we have Di Maria an horrible game, Vlahovic an horrible game, Chiesa an horrible game, Rabiot an average game, Locatelli so-and-so game, Fagioli being like, okay. So think about if the potential, what we can do if this Kostic probably having one of the worst game ever. Do you think that Allegri's game is not the problem? No, it's not. The real problem right now is like basically everything else outside the Juventus, and what actually, I'm sorry, it's not being against
what
you.
People
of course,
don't understand is that Allegri's way of playing has never been like, this beautiful way. Allegri's way of playing is concrete. You have like a defense you can beat, and then you bring the 3 points home. That's Allegri.
That's Ancelotti, that's Zidane, that's the same thing.
These are like all coaches that could coach like big teams with big personalities. Right now he's managing a situation that is very difficult, and besides that, and despite that, he's in second place. He's in second place. That's what people. He's in second place. I don't understand.
Before Allegri, you wouldn't even listen to the possibility of renewing Rabiot. Now you're praying that
that's something that we can talk about. It's an interesting topic, actually, if you want to talk about that. But it's
if there is one thing actually could move to the Allegri team, there could be a problem, is too many injuries. There's something going on with the injuries. That's an issue. So talking about what's Juventus' problem, too many injuries, because it's not possible that we've never had the full roster available. We're in April, and we still don't have the full roster available.
But I agree with you, but don't you feel that has improved? Because if you think about it, right, in this game, in today's game, who was the only one not available? Pogba. Everybody else.
I
agree with you. It's a problem, but I think it has been improving in this new year. It's a little too late.
I mean, kind of. Yes or no, but like you can't play a season like this.
I agree. I agree
100%.
To me,
Vlahovic, Maria, Chiesa, and Pogba. The 4 people you are building the team around, all injured for half of the season, and he's still in second place. This is nothing short of a miracle. I don't know how else.
To me, right now we have a team that is actually a compact team. Then it's very. It's possible that you have, like today, you have 3 good moments in the game, and then suddenly they stop, and it's like they don't want to play. But we get in there little by little, and I feel that's the main difference.
Yeah, and
from the previous coach, with Pirlo, we had the same problem, but there was no character. With Pirlo, we played the worst game we ever played with Inter.
But Andrea,
the first time we didn't get it into
there is nothing more nobody more effective than Allegri. And I'm sure that I can speak for Giulia, I can speak for Stefania, for Andrea. We are not Allegri fan, we are Juve fan.
Yeah,
we are Juventus fans.
That's
so we are Juve fans. So if when Pirlo was a coach, I was a Juve fan. I don't even. So, and speaking, and this is a conversation we had with Giulio many times. If you think about Juventus, I remember watching Juventus since '85. I think '84 is 85. My first memory. Okay, if I think about all the Juventus I've seen since '85, okay, I can remember the first Juventus with Lippi playing a nice soccer, but it wasn't like a spectacular. It was more effective than anything else. Okay, you remember that maybe one of the strongest Juve was in 2004 and 2006 with the Capello as coach, and the game was almost unwatchable. The games, if you remember. So historically, and I think there is a part on that, and of course that can change. I can change. Look, I don't mind people like Dionisi. I don't mind people like Italiano. Okay, but let me tell you something. You really ready to bring somebody? I don't want to name Zerbi because even if he's doing really well in England. Okay, but you really think that you want to bring on someone like Dionisi and Italiano, that's some promising coach in the situation that Juventus is living right now, basically the situation on the pitch is our last problem.
Yeah, but I think
I don't remember Vlahovic being like that with Fiorentina. I don't remember Locatelli being like that with Sassuolo. I don't remember Gatti losing his mind on any ball. Like, you see these guys, what they're like like barking all the time. Like
they
what
came
is-
together as a
Well,
team,
to
as a
go
group.
to go full circle, guys, and with this we're close because we've gone beyond the fire, because that's what it is, the fire that the team showed, even though they showed it in an incorrect way and it led to Cuadrado being sent off. But that team was out there and they were ready to die after the game. I mean, they were ready to start a fight and just die for the team and die for their colleagues, right? And so even though we don't condone that kind of behavior, but it tells you something, right? It tells you that they're fully invested
Yep.
in the project and they're fully invested in their teammates, and that to me is huge. That makes the difference. And then to close, to say that, and here answering to Christian, he's talking that Allegri is not effective. To be second place in the
He is-
semi-final of Coppa Italia, in the
He
semi-final
is
Europa
nothing
League,
more than effective.
14 wins, 3 ties, and 2 defeats in all of 2023. To say that that's not effective, then I don't understand anything.
That's right.
That's
Not having your
yeah.
fourth best player.
No, the thing is that people are
together,
starting. People are a little bit confused with what effectiveness, and they're confusing a lot of goals with effectiveness, and that is not effectiveness. Effectiveness is bringing in the 3 points and moving on top and moving up the chart. That's effectiveness.
That's
If
right.
So-
anything, what's not effectiveness is our attacking players. They're not being very effective with the chances that we create.
Yeah, but take,
that's
like
another
take
topic.
take Leao, Brian Diaz, I don't know,
Hernandez.
like Teo Hernandez and whatever. To
Tonali.
Milan, where would they be right now? And that's what we've been doing. We've been playing with our 4 best players, and we're still in second place in front of all of these teams. Take Lautaro out. Take what? I mean, it's unbelievable what he has done with all the psychological pressure of what's going on
Of
off
outside the field,
on
correct.
top of all of that. So I think we need to be a little more appreciative of what's going on.
Agree.
And
Okay.
one last thing about today.
Yes.
Inter shot once. That's it. That's what happened. That's how effective Allegri was today. They shot once in 90 minutes, plus the PK, like on action.
Target. Yeah.
That was amazing save by Perin, by the way. That shot.
But they had a couple.
They were
like
couple
my opinion, from the point of view, like it was more. They were more dangerous with the couple of chances that they created at the end of the first half and in the second half, compared to the ineffective attacking that we had. Like Joshua was saying, because of our attackers. Like Di Maria today played one of the worst games. Kostic at least one or 2 crosses a game. We already understood what kind of players he is. He just tried to cross, no? He just crosses. So out of 20 crosses, 2 or 3 come out like good and assists. But today he couldn't make it. So, like, guys,
we had 2 successful crosses today. They were both by Fagioli to
Fagioli.
Vlahovic. Those
Yes.
were the only 2.
I mean, Darmian was playing a great game too. I mean, let's be honest about that.
Okay,
yeah, true.
guys, we've run over. I'm sorry I've taken you over time, but this was a good conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Estefania, it was a pleasure having you. Hopefully you can come back.
Mucho gusto. Gracias.
Perfecto.
Gracias a ti. Bienvenida.
Gracias.
Andrea, Julio, Mateo, muchísimas gracias.
Thank
Un
you for the
placer.
invite. Thanks,
Un
Andrea.
placer.
Ciao.
Ciao, se. Grazie.
Thank
Ciao.
you
Ciao,
for
ragazzi.
everyone in the chat. Hopefully you enjoyed this. It was a little special, a little something different to obviously support the North American Juventus Official Fan Clubs as well, and giving a little grain of sand towards the great job that you guys are doing in your local communities, but also across all of North America. So thank you on behalf of Pueblo Juve for what you're doing and the amazing work that you're doing to support our fans. We'll leave it here. We'll see everyone again on Friday for our usual live of Friday. Enjoy the rest of the week. Thanks again.
Gracias,
Forza
chicos.
Juve.
Thank
Forza
you.
Juve.